Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 481. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It is the day after the 4th of July holiday. It is a new moon in Cancer. We have a lot of astrology moving yet again. So here I am in this very contemplative energy, and I bring all of that transmission into this space for us to explore together. We are going to be talking about community, relationships, connection, conversations, clarification. There's a lot that I'm bringing with such a big, tender, open heart into this space, because sometimes the thing that is our gift is also the thing that can be the most tender or painful for us when it isn't quite as we expected it to be. And so to talk about it and share is not always easy, right, when it's tender. So for me, community is absolutely one of my gifts. Building community, holding space for community, feeling the energy moving in community. There's a way that I do that, within my home, with my family, with my extended family, with my local friends and people that I see, clients around town. And then there's the bigger context of the community that I feel as a collective humanity here in this planet of Gaia, in the energy field of Gaia. And I think we all have expressions, understandings of community at all those different levels. The up close and intimate relationships, connections, and then the ever expanding wider ripples of how connected we are to every human on this planet in some ways. So the thing that is our gift, which for me is this work I do in community, can also be the thing that we are struggling with, and that journey that we take in our whole lifetime that we're struggling through, and the gift, they coincide, they intersect. And maybe sometimes, I feel like I'm talking in code and I'm not trying to. These are just all the thoughts that have been bubbling that I'm trying to bring forward in a coherent way. Sometimes when we are mastering a gift, we screw things up all the time. It's like the student who makes 50 mistakes, 100 mistakes, and then finally they crack the code, they get the thing, and they're a master at it. This was Karate Kid, and all the stories about like Disney, who opened Disney World. You try again and again and again, and at one moment perhaps you just get it, you figure it out. Or you spend your entire life working on this thing. And so for me, relationships is a life learning, a life experience that I'm constantly deepening and forgiving myself for, and getting it so right sometimes and so wrong other times. And I feel like this new moon in Cancer energy, it's really deep. It's such I talked about it in the tarot reading I did earlier this week. It's such a lineage layered understanding right now at this new moon in Cancer in 2024. It's like the work that we've been doing with our choices as souls to step into a certain lineage or family or culture or country. The work that we've been doing our whole lifetimes, this time, it's it's come to this moment, and I'm sure there will be many more moments, but right now in this moment, it's come to this place where we can hold that choice and explore it perhaps from a different perspective. Like look at it and go, why did I choose this family? Or why did I choose this community of people? Why did I choose this lineage with all that it holds in this lifetime? And can we start to unravel for ourselves? This doesn't need to be a collective project. For ourselves, could we start to unravel some of the heaviness or the burden or the limitations, the judgments, the ways where the lineage would tell us how to do something because this is what it's been? And can we just be in our own experience right now in this moment and find the gifts of the lineage, the experience, the community? So when I say that, like I can feel my heart go, oh, that feels so good to believe we could do that, to allow ourselves to do that, to not carry the guilt. The last card that I pulled in the extended reading for the new moon card reading on Wednesday, the last card I pulled was guilt. And the message from our guides was, let go of the guilt. Like the guilt is doing nobody any good. It's heavy. It slows down momentum. It doesn't serve to sit in the guilt. And so how do we shed that? As I'm saying all this, Jade is wandering around and exploring every cable and cord that is behind the scenes of the podcast. So I'm really hoping we don't have a sudden fall. She really likes to play with all the cables. We'll see what she does. Jade, nope. We shall see what happens over here. There may be a pause. So this is what I'm sitting with right now, and I've had several conversations this week, that community ones and individual ones, that are speaking to this deep contemplation, this real awareness of what is it that I desire? What is it I desire for myself, and what is it I desire to contribute? What do I actually want this relationship to look and to feel like? How do I want my community around me to support me, and how do I want to support my community? What even is the new definition of my community? This has been a big one for me over the last, I don't know, couple of years, since my Chiron return for sure, but for a few years I keep contemplating definition of community. I don't know that I have it yet all the way figured out, but what I just talked about in our mastermind this morning with some of my newer community is the way that I would, oh my God, my heart is just like, what are we saying? It's been hard for me to release relationships when I can feel that the work we're doing together, or the growth that we're experiencing together, is complete in the way that it started. And so there's a new path that we're each taking individually, or there's a new lesson that's arriving. And so some of the relationships, ebb and flow, and they release because there's a need for that. There's space needed for growth in the individuals, and the relationship together doesn't always serve that growth individually. That's been a real struggle for me. I know one of my big wounds in my life that I've worked through is the sense of belonging and feeling safe. These are all new moon and Cancer conversations. The feeling of being safe and secure, and knowing that the relationships I'm in are ones that will last, that I can trust, that I'm not going to be abandoned or forgotten. And so I've held on to a lot of relationships because of that. I've gripped and attached because I don't know what will happen if it ends or what will be next. And I feel like I've talked about this many times in this podcast space. It is a big theme in my life. And what I keep feeling over the last month, since my husband and I did our trip, our vacation, and came home, what I keep feeling is the invitation to release, to let go, to not be attached, which doesn't mean don't care or don't stop loving or don't stop spending time with someone. It means, for me, release the hold, the energetic grip that I have on relationships, on people needing to be or act a certain way in my life, perhaps as they always have. You may see Jade's tail because she has now decided that she wants to sit on my lap for today's podcast. So we shall make room on my lap for her. We'll move the crystals so that she can perch herself here for this episode. Thank you, beautiful girl. It's hard to let go of something that's been really beautiful or good. It's hard to say goodbye in some ways, energetically even, when experiences have just been so fulfilling and so beautiful. And it takes immense trust to know that there will be other experiences and relationships that come in that will keep us evolving and growing, and that we need the space in order for those next levels of our journey to happen, those next people to arrive. There needs to be room for that. I said that to a friend recently about a guy that she was dating. I was like, you can't bring in the match of what you actually want if what you don't want is where you're spending so much of your time. You know, there needs to be room in order for the new to arrive. And in order for room, you have to let go of some of what is complete. And that's really hard. Maybe that's a story, but I don't feel like it. It's been pretty true in my journey that the letting go is painful. I've struggled with the letting go, and I haven't done it well. I've been super messy in my goodbyes, super messy. I've not stood in my power, not used my voice clearly, not actually spoken my deeper truth. One of my new friends is really helping me with that, like speaking the deeper layers of truth. For many reasons, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I don't know if I believe my truth or if I actually could name my truth, even though I feel it. And so things just get kind of messy when we're in that in-between, when we know something's completing, but we're not sure what to do about it. So I sit here with you, with Jade on my lap, with no answers, just this contemplation. I feel like we're in a time collectively right now where she's done with me. She's like, you go on your own now. I'm off to explore again. It's so funny too, because I'm okay when she leaves. Like, I'm not attached. I mean, I am. She's an indoor cat, and it would be devastating to me if she left and ran out into the wild. Let's not contemplate that one. I'll do it in stages. Jade is like one of the end stages of my goodbyes. I love to have the answer. I love to have things clearly sorted out and be able to articulate them perfectly so that the message is cleanly delivered. And that's just not the space that I'm in right now. It has been a really different experience for me being back home after my husband and I took our vacation. The expansion, the love, the security, the steadiness that he and I co-created in that time, which we've worked on for years, but I feel like that trip really solidified so much about how we are together. And so coming home and then trying to step into everything that I used to do in the ways I used to do it just it hasn't been working. And so I've been in this place of redefining how I'm spending my time and how to do my work. And, the relationships I normally would immediately jump and go take care of and spend time with, I'm like, I don't want to do that right now. I want to move a little slower. I want to be more thoughtful, more aware in how I arrive into experiences and conversations and how I hold myself in those places. I don't want to just default to my ways and patterns that I used to. And so it's taking a lot of consciousness, a lot of presence, quite a bit of stillness and integration, a lot of just being, sitting and breathing. And my husband has been home quite a bit, which has been extraordinary. Normally he does a lot of union work in the summer, and he hasn't been. And so he's relaxing, doing projects, but also there's a lot more time for him to relax. And so I'll do my work and I'll go upstairs, and he's just, this week, he's been watching soccer on the couch. And all I want to do is just lay on the couch and just hang out and snuggle and watch soccer or take a nap. And that's not how I have been for a while. And so it's an adjustment and honoring what I desire, what I want, which is a very spacious life, maybe a smaller, more intimate circle, but really deep conversations with bigger groups, which is what I'm doing here. This is a deeper conversation, and it's what I desire. I actually want to be intentional, be more authentic, more vulnerable, not in a I need you to be my therapist way, not that, in a here's what's actually true in my heart, here's what's actually alive in my human journey, and I'm not really interested in prettying it up. I don't want it to look all polished and perfect. This is what's happening. And it's so beautiful. I mean, what an incredible moment in my journey to have created this kind of intimacy and love and connection with my husband, better than it's ever been. That's extraordinary to me. I've wanted this forever. And now I'm living it, and everything else is kind of adjusting around it. And it's a little unsettling. Not in a bad way, in a everything's becoming new again kind of way. New moon in Cancer. This is what we're doing. We're contemplating home, security, safety, community, relationships, connection, conversations in deeper ways. I talked a lot about releasing the weight of the lineage and choosing to be in the gifts that the lineage hands us. I think that's what I started talking about earlier. I talked a lot about that in the energy reading, and that theme has continued all week. It's just shown up in different ways. And it feels like, we can spend a lot of our time, and I've done this, healing, clearing the stories, clearing the patterns, doing the energy work, looking at the past lives, really unraveling, repairing. But I also feel like there might be a time, or maybe this is the time that's beginning, where we just accept that this is what history has brought us to. This is the moment that we are in. And now what are we going to do with that? Who do I choose to become? Whatever the weight of the lineage is behind me, it's almost like mining for gold is what it feels like you're sifting and sorting all of the stories, all of the beliefs, all of the patterns, all of the lineage, sifting and sorting, and you pull out the gems, the magic from that. You say, okay, all of this was true, and I'm not able to go back in this moment and unravel and change and fix everything. That's not even what it's about anymore. All of that is true, and let me hold this and pick from it the gems and carry that as I move into the next version, the next storyline, the next chapter. I talked about in the energy reading about, when I, in my, like if you look at blah, 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 in the family tree, we'll use those words. In the family tree, there's all the different branches. If I look at my branch and then I see my children underneath me and their grandchildren, except I like to flip it. So my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And I look underneath at all of the stories that my grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents have handed to me. When I, at my level, do my own clearing or make my choice to accept what is and start to mine for the gems, then the generation above me is going to have more freedom because I'm not holding as much weight. And then their children will have even more freedom because my children aren't carrying as much weight. And so as we advance as a humanity, if this is the way that we now can be, there's no weight for the next generations, the future children and great-grandchildren. They will just come here to earth as souls and create, express, be, love. Maybe they'll create new mistakes, and there'll be a whole new lineage that starts with all new stories and mistakes. But I don't feel that. I really believe that life on this planet is entering a time that's meant to be more joyful, that's meant to be more unified. It's meant to be a space of learning and growth as a soul, but perhaps not through as much suffering, more through beauty, connection, truth, intimacy, not division and separation. How do we build that? I feel like at some point maybe we have to say we accept what was and now we begin from here. And we're going to begin from this new energy, this new commitment. Which is kind of what I'm roundabout saying with this new moon in Cancer. There's a shift in me and my relationships. And it feels like I love what has been. I honor everything that has been. I'm so grateful for every lesson, every person, every conversation, connection I've had, has been so meaningful and taught me so much. And here I am now in this moment, in a new energy, in a new feeling, a new vibration. And so how do we co-create now, like in this moment? What do we choose to co-create together? And it doesn't have to be defined by what it was before or by how we held it before. What do we choose now? And I feel like that opens the field. So wide. So wide. This has been one of my greatest teachings with my husband, is to be so present in this moment and not let the mistakes and the stories and the pains of the past moments define what is possible for us now and next. Like, be here now, and let's see what we do from here. And I feel like that's carrying over into so many areas. So it's exciting. It's a very exciting time. It's a little messy, a little confusing. I feel like I talk in circles in my own mind, and then I come here and probably am talking in circles here also. But I feel like when we speak and we name the truth and we allow the energy to move, the energy starts to move. And then we clarify. I just said this in our mastermind. I asked one of the women, I said, do you want to talk this through out loud? Because when we say it out loud and we're witnessed in it, somehow we get more clarity. Somehow we hear our own words and we're like, oh, yes. I left a message for one of my friends this week, and I was talking about what I see next for my work and the vision I have for my business. And I said, I'm really just here to teach people and show people and blah, blah, blah. And I just said it so beautifully and so precisely. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm here to do. I need to write that down. And then I forgot to write it down. So I guess I need to go back and do that. But I just said it. And I said to her in the message, thank you for this space that I can just say this so clearly to you. Why can't I say it so clearly in all the other places? But that's my work. That is my work, is to continuously speak my truth and refine my words and allow the energy to move, to flow. Trusting that as I do it, it activates something in you, and then you do it, and you take it into your communities and your relationships, and it activates stuff in there, and, and we all just keep evolving, which makes my heart so happy. So my heart right now is like, yay! New moon in Cancer. If you have not watched the energy reading video I did, it was so beautiful. The message was just so affirming and supportive for what's happening right now. And so that would be waiting for you on YouTube if you want to watch that. I am about to move into a Live with Vivi event over on Insight Timer. It's going to be so fun. We're going to pull some cards and do some intention setting clarification. So if you are on Insight Timer, I have a whole bunch of events scheduled for all of July. So you can definitely join us over there. The practicum, we are going to have our new moon manifestation circle next week on Wednesday. So if you do not yet have a membership to the practicum, this is a great time to sign up because we have some events coming up. And so the monthly exchange, you'll just immediately step right into this month's activities. If you are looking for deep attunement meditations, on Sunday we are going to do the one for July. It's a week early because next week we're going to my sister's for a reunion. But on Sunday this week at 10 a.m. I will be guiding a meditation energy healing. And those are beautiful 1-hour experiences where I move aside and source energy flows through me so clearly as a healing for all of us who gather. It's on Zoom. You can have video on or off, and you'll be able to see me as I'm doing the energy work. They're amazing. So you can find, I'll put the link to that in the description, but you can find that on my website under You and Me, Meditation Attunements. I think that's it. I mean, there's always stuff going on, and also it's a new moon, so much about the heart and the connection and the love. So I trust that you feel that from me. Would love to hear how you are doing, what your intentions are, so please share if you would like to do that. And I will see you back here next week on Thursday before we go away for the weekend. So much love. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.